Zenkaikon 2024, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Zenkaikon was a multi-genre convention held from March 22nd through 24th, 2024 at the Lancaster County Convention Center and Holiday Inn Lancaster in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This was a year of change for Zenkaikon with them using the Holiday Inn Lancaster for the first time. Let's see how they did. I do have a conflict of interest. I was part of a group that had guest status. Some of you might be wondering, why am I reviewing a con that I had guest status at? I've been attending this con since 2007. I've been paneling with my current group here since 2015, so I have a unique insight into how this con has evolved over time. I will, however, not grade the convention this year due to this significant conflict of interest. Let's see how they did. The Holiday Inn had to be evacuated twice on Saturday for reasons I'm not going to speculate on. I was asked by someone, would that have affected my grading of this event? And the answer is no. I've been part of 3 mass evacuations during conventions, and generally you just have to do your best, and the staff have to do their best to make sure everyone stays safe and are evacuated in an orderly manner. For the good, the distance to the Holiday Inn was actually a pretty short 4 blocks. It was very easy to get to it if you wanted to attend the video gaming and other gaming programming that was going there during the weekend. Registration was again very efficient this year. I walked in the area several times and there were no lines through most of the weekend. Zenkaikon's registration system is incredible. Zenkaikon has stellar staff. They've always had stellar staff. This year I got to work with a few different departments and everyone there was excellent at what they did. I love the staff of Zenkaikon. They work so hard to put on a good convention. The convention had its own plushie this year. This is the convention's mascot, Octavia. Octavia is absolutely adorable, squishy, and all kinds of plushy. I absolutely bought one, loved it, it was a great piece of merchandise. I liked that the concession booth in the lobby was open later on Sunday. There is a bit of an issue getting food at Zenkaikon on Sunday because a lot of the restaurants in the surrounding areas are closed, and I know they were open well after 2 o'clock, and I'm glad they were. Zenkaikon has a stellar Sunday attendance. It's another year that they had great Sunday turnout. Zenkaikon keeps the energy going deep into Sunday afternoon, and it's really, really cool to see that. What was absolutely terrible? Nothing. For the ugly, what should have been better? The venue keeps getting worse by the year, and it's starting to really show. Let's start off with the parking. You now have to give them your license plate if you are staying overnight at the hotel. I think we went backwards 10 years by doing that. That is a stupid policy. The convention center needs to upgrade their escalators. They're breaking a little too often. Saw several broken ones during the convention, which thankfully they got them working again. But it's really time to get in front of these escalator problems and get them fixed. I ran into several problems with the men's bathrooms this year at the convention. Ran into several with broken locks that I'm pretty sure have been broken for years. I saw several that had run out of soap and some that had run out of paper towels. It seems like maintenance is not being kept up and they weren't being replenished enough. The elevators in the West Tower were special this year. 3 times I had been on them, they stopped and went out of service and I had to grab another elevator. The elevators in the West Tower need to be upgraded by the Marriott very, very badly. They're just not working well. The key system to get to the floors was an absolute disaster this year. I don't quite understood why they weren't working, but this elevator situation in the main hotel needs to be fixed. And finally, the hotel rooms are coming apart. The upgrades to them did not work. I had friends in other rooms, and I also saw this in my room. The floor is literally coming up in the renovated hotel rooms of the West Tower. The floor is failing. That's incredible. They did such a cheap renovation to the rooms. The floor can't stay down, and it's popping as you walk on it. Sadly, the venue is essentially literally falling apart around Zenkaikon. The signage needs a huge upgrade at the Holiday Inn for next year. I walked down there, others did take the shuttle bus that was provided. The issue is if you walk, you actually don't know clearly where the entrance is to the Holiday Inn. There needs to be some sort of external signage, but also when you get into the hotel, there needs to be about double the amount of internal signage, such as these tall banners with arrows pointing where to go. That would be how you fix this. You actually don't really know the escalators in the picture above are where you're supposed to go. There weren't any signs. I didn't love the Holiday Inn's usage. They picked the right items to put here, but to me, it felt like definitely some steps backwards occurred during this move. To me, arcade gaming felt lax this year. I didn't really like console gaming. It felt like they need to be in the same room to have the right energy. It seems like Tabletop did okay in the space they had, but I didn't really love the Holiday Inn having all the gaming off-site. I didn't love the temperature in the console gaming room at the Holiday Inn. It felt like they needed to crank the air conditioning up a little bit. The only good news was I didn't pick up any con funk. Finally, I'd like the concessions to be open later on Friday and Saturday. Unfortunately, due to the loss of local restaurants around the convention center and the early closing time of many as early as 8 o'clock, there were definitely gaps in the ability to get food unless you DoorDashed in or went somewhere and walked a great distance. If this was open even a little bit later, I think it would be a great service to the attendees. One special shout out I will give to a local business. The Subway across the street from the convention center was open very, very late. It was very, very useful. Overall, I'm not sure the Holiday Inn worked. I didn't love video gaming being there. We know the convention is going back to the Holiday Inn to use it again next year. And a question that was brought up at closing ceremonies was, what do they put in the Holiday Inn? And I don't have that answer. I know as a panelist, if panels were there, it would be logistically challenging to get my people down there. So I don't know, aside from gaming, what they could realistically put there. But I feel gaming suffered a little bit over there this year, so I'm not quite sure what to do with it. The hotel and the convention center has frankly continued to degrade in terms of quality. I'm not in love with either of them as I used to be. I love the space the convention center has, but it's slowly coming apart and needs an upgrade, and the renovation work they did to the hotel, you could just basically say it was a failure. Zenkaikon had another solid year in terms of programming, staffing, and frankly the overall event. The problem is the convention center, the hotel, and frankly the area around it in Lancaster is slowly falling apart, and it's not a good thing. Per my original statement, I won't be grading Zenkaikon this year as I have a significant conflict of interest. I'd like to thank the staff who were excellent this year. I liked attending Zenkaikon, I had a good time, and thanks for watching.